It's Pastor Darren's toughest sermon, paying tribute to the precious lives lost in the Maryborough tragedy. 2 of them from his church. They were killed when struck by a stolen car, allegedly being driven by a 13-year-old boy.
I don't have any words how devastating the news is to be woken up at 12 o'clock at night saying that we've lost 2 of the burning, shining lights in our community is totally and utterly devastating.
A grief like no other.
They're part of who we are and part of my family, and it sucks, mate.
It was just after midnight on Sunday when Senior Pastor Darren Hayhoe got a call from Matthew Chandler to say his wife hadn't made it home.
It's not something that you expect to hear at 12 o'clock at night, that you've just lost 2 of the most important people in your life.
Michael Chandler was a pastor at Reach Church, Fraser Coast, along with her husband Matthew.
How are we this morning?
Hello.
Just 29 years old and mother to 2 little boys who will now grow up without her.
Losing Mikhail is like losing part of our body. Mikhail was and is and will always be a part of who we are, and we'll never forget this woman. She was phenomenal.
Michael had been mentoring the 2 other girls she was travelling with on Sunday night when they were involved in the horror crash. It's alleged they were hit from behind by a stolen Mercedes with a 13-year-old boy driving. Kelsey Davies, just 17 years old, was behind the wheel of the Holden when they were hit. Kelsey was an intern at the church and had graduated last year from high school along with Pastor Darren's daughter.
It sucks. It really does that this young lady hasn't got the opportunity to live. But I want to say something about her, that even at 17, she's left a legacy in the hearts and lives of all the younger women in our church, in our community. She's truly an inspirational young lady.
Also in the car with them was Kayla Behrens, the only surviving victim. The 23-year-old was rushed to Brisbane and has undergone multiple surgeries and remains in an induced coma. Her husband David holding vigil.
I just got off the phone with David and he reassures me that she's fighting hard, and we are praying and we're supporting both of them in this journey.
Pastor Darren married the pair in 2020, a young couple full of life, a husband now praying his wife makes it through.
He's an amazing young husband and dedicated to being beside her until she walks out of that place.
A test of faith for the entire community, now grieving 2 of their own, along with Cherie Robertson, a 52-year-old nurse.
Even a man in my position asks the question why. It does not make sense how something like this so tragic can take place.
The human rights and civil liberties of good, honest citizens are what needs to be put first.
Local federal member Lou O'Brien says the community is fed up. A former police officer himself, he's been to countless fatal accidents, but says this one should never have happened.
Every motor vehicle in the wrong hands is a deadly weapon. And if it is in the hands of a 13-year-old who has no experience, who is more than likely going to do something highly dangerous, you're going to see consequences like this.
The 13-year-old accused fronted court today, charged with 3 counts of dangerous operation of a motor vehicle causing death, while his alleged accomplice remains on the run.
If it is the case that this is a repeat offender, government has failed in its responsibility to keep its citizens safe.
The church has started a fundraiser for all involved, including nurse Cherie Robertson, a community now rallying together in the toughest of times.
Pastors are supposed to pastor, right? And that's what I'm trying to do today.
What do you wish people knew most about Michael and Kelsey?
They would want people to know about their faith. They were passionate about God, they were passionate about people, and they loved, without question.